You made us what we've become. Boom. Boom. Boom.
Where's my baby?
It's breakfast time.
I was about 22 the first time I watched The Hills Have Eyes, the 2006 remake, and I honestly wasn't expecting much. I hadn't seen the original. All I knew that it was supposed to be brutal, but nothing prepared me for what this movie actually delivered. It wasn't just scary, it was raw, gritty, and it hit way harder than any horror movie I'd seen at that point. The setup's pretty simple. A regular American family, the Carters, on a road trip through the desert. They're in an RV, arguing, dealing with typical family crap. They stop at this creepy old gas station, and the guy there tells them about a shortcut through the hills. It feels sketchy from the start, but they go anyway. And then boom! Trap spikes tear their tires apart. They're stranded in the middle of nowhere. No phone service, no other cars, just sand, rocks, heat, and silence. And from the second they get stuck, something feels off. You can't put your finger on it, but you know something's watching them. And yeah, something's watching them. What they don't realize is they've wandered into a government nuclear testing zone. And back in the day, people who lived there were told to evacuate. And not everyone did. The ones who stayed behind got hit with radiation and turned into something else. And now they live in the hills, deformed, inbred, and cannibalistic. And they hunt anyone who crosses into their land. What makes it hit so hard is how real it feels. The Carters aren't action heroes. They're just normal people bickering, stressed out, trying to get to California. And then when the horror starts, they don't suddenly become invincible. They're terrified. They panic. They make mistakes. It's really messy, chaotic. And it makes it feel really real. The first real gut punch is when the dad, Bob, walks back to the gas station for help and gets ambushed. The mutants crucify him and burn him alive right outside the trailer while the rest of the family watches screaming. But that's just the start. While they're all distracted by that horror, two of the mutants break into the RV. One of them sexually assaults Brenda, the teenage daughter. The other shoots Lynn and Ethel, the older daughter and the mom, and steals the baby. It's chaos, violent, traumatizing, and the movie doesn't cut away. It shows it. No sugarcoating, no dramatic music, just raw, uncomfortable realism. I remember watching that and thinking, holy shit, this isn't like other horror movies. It didn't feel like entertainment. It felt like something you survived with the characters. And then something shifts. Doug, the quiet brother-in-law who's been kind of passive the whole movie, sees what's happening and he snaps. But not in a movie hero kind of way, in a real, you just took everything from me kind of way. You watch this regular guy decide he's going to get his daughter back no matter what it takes. It's not about saving the day, it's about survival. So at this point, the Carter family is wrecked. The dad's been buried alive, the mom is dying, Lynn's dead, Brenda's in shock, and the baby's been taken. And Doug, the soft-spoken, kind of nerdy brother-in-law, he's the last guy you'd ever expect to go full savage, but he does. And it's honestly one of the best turns in horror. Doug doesn't get some big heroic moment or speech. He just kind of decides. There's this quiet transformation you can see in his face. He tapes broken glass to a bat, he grabs whatever he can for weapons, and sets out across the desert with the family's dog, Beast. And that part alone, so good. The guy's been through hell, but all that matters now is getting his daughter back. He makes his way into what's basically the mutants' home turf, a bombed out nuclear test village straight out of a nightmare. Think old, crumbling 1950s homes melted by radiation, mannequins fused to furniture, walls dripping with filth. It's not over-stylized, it feels gross, it feels real. And then Doug starts taking them out, one by one. And here's what I loved. He's not suddenly like a trained killer. Every fight is dirty, clumsy, violent. He gets injured. He almost loses more than once, but he keeps going. There's no backup coming, no last-minute rescue. It's just this one guy versus an entire bloodthirsty family of mutants, and he makes it happen. You also meet more of the mutants in this part, like Big Brain, this bloated guy hooked up with tubes who explains the whole backstory. These people were left behind. The government nuked them, and now they survive by hunting anyone who enters their land. It adds this weird layer of tragedy to it, and you almost understand why they became what they are. The last big showdown is with Lizard, the most vicious one of all. Doug and Lizard go at it in a brutal, up-close fight that feels like it should be a street ball more than a choreographed horror moment. And in the middle of it, Ruby, the only mutant with any sense of humanity, makes a choice. She saves the baby, and she sacrifices herself. She knows this kid doesn't belong in that world. Doug finally gets the baby back. He's covered in blood, barely standing, but he's done it. He walks out on the hills holding his daughter, and for a second, you think it's over. And then the camera zooms out, and you realize they're still being watched. That last moment, perfect. No clean resolution, no safety, just a lingering feeling that maybe this nightmare doesn't really end. At 22, I'd seen my fair share of horror, but The Hills Have Eyes was different. It hit different. It wasn't polished. It wasn't trying to be clever. It was brutal, grounded, and real in a way that stuck with me. Doug didn't become a hero because he wanted to. He became one because he had to. And that's what makes it so damn good. You walk away thinking, what would I do if that was me? If you haven't seen it, watch it. And if you have, watch it again. It still hits just as hard.